Folks, welcome in. This is RochesterFirst.com. I'm Eric. This is John. We've got snow.
Yes, well, we got it coming. Just as I'm about to go to Florida tomorrow, just for a few days, now the snow comes.
Now you start to get in on
this. Doesn't look like a big deal.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be the beginning catalyst, though, that turns us back into what would be more appropriate winter around here. We got to 50 today in Rochester. This is the live shot from Nick Seabreeze. This marks the 5th time this winter that we have been at least 50 degrees. We had a amazing 64-degree high in there late last week.
Yeah.
And this one is even more remarkable to me. This is the 25th straight day that we have gotten above freezing in Rochester, New York.
That's incredible.
The average high is freezing. So you would think somewhere in there, that's nearly a month, you'd have a day that it didn't get to 32.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
That will change on Friday. We're going to struggle to even get to 20 on Friday. Temperatures this evening will drop into the 40s, cloudy skies, maybe some patchy drizzle, but you see what I see, John. There's not much out there. We're going to have to wait until Wednesday night and Thursday. This is going to be round one of 2 storm systems coming our way. This is the baby of the 2. By about midnight Wednesday night, you got some rain to the south, some snow to the north. Temps are borderline. I do think we start off as a wintry mix out of this of rain and snow. Note, however, into Thursday morning, that's some lake enhancement. And, John, you see the wind flow here from the northwest. That usually starts getting that going even in Rochester.
Will be very interesting, you know, those colder temperatures, that warmer lake water. We're used to it this time of year, usually a little earlier than this,
no
but
kidding.
I guess for snow lovers, winter weather lovers, better late than never.
That is true. I don't think this is going to be a big deal. I could see maybe an inch or so out of that, but to look at temperatures by Friday, this is the European model that has us at 4:30, about 14 in Rochester.
Wow.
You may have a high that gets to 20. I think that's probably as good as it gets on Friday, so big change there. And again, considering we haven't had a high below 32, when we finally do it, it's 20.
Yeah,
when it finally comes, boom.
And this is perplexing to me, and maybe I know you can clarify, but you're talking that kind of frigid cold on Friday, and then on the rise again as we go into the weekend.
The winds are going to shift out ahead of this next storm system. We're going to show you some of the track differences that'll play a large role in what's falling on our heads. 5:30 on Saturday, you've got everything on this map. We've got snow north and east of Rochester. This is a wintry mix, sleet and some freezing rain. Rain is now building off to the west. And you see what the Euro does. It shoots us up to near 40 briefly. Wow. That would change us over to rain before the colder air comes back on a blustery Sunday. Windy and snow showers and temperatures are dropping by that point. Now, we showed you this map yesterday. I'm going to offer an update on how we think this now evolves. We've got another 24 hours of data under us. If this low were to take the northerly track, and I will tell you as everything that I've seen right now, that's the lean with models, as this takes that yellow line. The way this would unfold on Saturday, we're going to get a period of snow out of this early in the day. There would be some accumulation, probably a few inches. That then turns into a wintry mix, and you know how that gets. You got a few inches of snow on the ground, it turns to sleet and freezing rain. Everything's getting crunchy and messy. Then it goes to all rain, and that would eat away at a lot of whatever has fallen before we go back to snow with a wind-driven snow and some accumulations again on Sunday. Now, when this is all said and done, is this a big-time snow event? No, not with that northerly track. I don't think so.
Right.
Now, that being said, that doesn't mean it's not a big deal.
Right.
I think there's going to be a period on Saturday of very difficult travel when we're getting that first phase of snow, and then again into Sunday when we get that second phase of snow. Now, if you want the snow, you want that southerly track. That would keep this thing all snow start to end.
Right.
You got a lot of moisture with this. You still have very windy conditions into Sunday. You'd be looking at more than a half a foot of snow area-wide.
Right.
Everybody would get that. And you and I talk a lot about this. This is Tuesday.
Yeah, it's early.
It's early.
But the consensus with the models, what you're saying right now at this early juncture is a little bit more of this and not as much as that.
It's the lean right now.
Right.
I could find you some models that are reliable,
Right.
that suggest this takes the southerly route. But for every one of those, I could find you probably 3 or 4 of these that say going more northerly. And we'll point out, too, the storm system we had over the weekend, you remember, that was the trend. There was a point early last week where we thought that low is going to be a lot more south and we're going to get a lot of ice around here. The trend was to bring it back off to the north. So we've seen this play out before in that regard. So, you know, it doesn't always work that way every time when you see it. But we are noting that was how the models did that last week. We're seeing a little bit of that again this time around.
We're 96 hours out.
Yeah.
I'll feel much better in your guidance leaning on those systems. maybe Thursday or Friday.
You know, we haven't given a snowfall accumulation.
No.
I think it's probably inappropriate to give a snowfall accumulation this early, but you know, that northerly track would not be talking the kind that all the snowplow folks are going to be going out and having a field day with.
Sure,
that. But exactly how much we get remains to be seen. This is going to be the pattern shifter here. No matter what happens with that Saturday-Sunday storm, that will allow some of the floodgates of colder air to open. We've got some really skinny numbers as we go into the early part of next week, including some single-digit overnight lows. John, you're going to get some more ice shots into next week.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for these, and I'm very appreciative. I mean, this will certainly put ice on the waterfalls in the region, and this seems to signal a shift, right?
It does.
It's something more seasonal and, quite frankly, quite bitter cold.
I would say not only more seasonal, but probably slightly below seasonal temperatures. No, this is not going to be a record-shattering kind of polar vortex coming down cold.
Yeah.
But we have really not seen that yet this January of an established burst of colder air coming in here.
No one can complain with the kind, if you're not into, other than the snow lovers, no one can complain about the winter so far. It has been exceedingly mild with limited snow on the ground. So yeah, for the snow lovers, the folks that like to cross-country ski, the snowshoers, we'll embrace this.
You know what's going to be wild here? We're going to be done, let's say just in April, and we're looking back on what winter has been. We've had almost 50 inches of snow in Rochester up to this point.
Yeah.
That's more than where we should for this time of year. So let's say we get 100, and you know that's close to normal. We would look back on this, and future folks looking back on 2020, they'd say, well, that was a normal winter. But embedded within that, you have just these wild fluctuations of very peculiar weather to get it to all average out to that.
Well, 40 of those inches came before winter officially began on the 21st of December.
And then we've had now this almost month where winter has been non-existent. And it does make you wonder if we're going to do bookends with this, where you get the winter to start and the winter to end later February and into March.
March often brings some nasty winter wrath.
Yeah, and
I'm anxious to see what it brings this year.
We do that again. We shall see. I'll see all of you on TV in about 15 minutes.
Take care.